What's going on, everyone? Data Report here for datareport.info with today's severe weather update for Thursday, March 2nd, 2023. We have a very active next 48 hours on hand. Today is going to be the most active day for severe weather. Starting off with the satellite picture here, you can see we do have a system in the Four Corners region, which is pumping up warm, moist air out of the Gulf of Mexico. And ahead of that, there are some clouds in Texas. But these clouds could potentially break later on, and Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, you're at the gun for a potentially very active severe weather day today. Moving on to the national hazards map, you can see here there are high wind warnings and wind advisories up ahead of this system for strong subnautic wind gusts of up to 35 to 40 miles per hour today. And even some cases there could be gusts up to 50 miles per hour. There is also from Oklahoma into Ohio an area where there are flash flood watches, and areas that see a training rainfall from the system could see 3 to 5 inches of rain in any training segment. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center for today, we have a moderate risk of severe storms from Texas, northwest Louisiana, Arkansas, and southeast Oklahoma. Within this area, that includes the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Arlington, Texas, and also Plano and Garland, Texas. And there is 8.4 million people in the moderate risk, 4.4 million people in the enhanced risk, 14.1 million in the slight risk, and 9.9 million in the marginal risk. Tornado probabilities, they are slightly lower than what they were yesterday at 10%. But don't take that lightly. 10% hatched area is still serious, and any storm that gets going today ahead of the main squall line could feature rotation and a potentially strong tornado. Wind probabilities have stayed the same, 45% chance of wind, which includes the Dallas metro area. And it is a hatched area, and that continues into Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and northeast Texas. Hail probabilities are higher today. There is a small area within this that has 45% chance of hail, and that is a hatched area. So that's something we will have to watch today, as large hail is possible with any supercell thunderstorm. Taking a look at the HRRR model, and as you can see here, the initial rain that's going on now and convection, that is going to basically erode over the next couple hours. And you'll see a few initial supercells start to form. Let's change the region here to south central U.S. As you can see here, these initial supercells, we have to watch for rotation. Any of these storms that get going, if they become strong enough, they could feature a strong tornado. Then we watch the dry line as we get into tonight. Here's the dry line that gets going just west of Dallas metro area. And any storm along that in the initiation of the dry line could feature the potential for strong tornadoes. As this shifts east, the threat will shift more towards strong winds. But again, a tornado threat will persist with this. Any discrete cell that gets going out ahead of it could potentially include a tornado. And you will notice here as you get into Arkansas, there starts to be some training that goes on. Within this training, that's where you get a flash flood threat. But again, any discrete cell could produce a tornado or strong gusty wind damage. And at this point, we are into the overnight hours of tonight going into Friday, and that becomes dangerous. Anytime you have a tornado threat in the overnight hours, when people are sleeping, it's harder to get the warning notifications. Make sure you have your cell phone volume up, and make sure you have your NOAA weather radio at the ready so you can be notified of any potential warnings. This then continues east, and as we get into early Friday morning, Kentucky, Tennessee, northeast Arkansas, you still remain at risk for severe storms. And at this point, by the way, the area of low pressure is very deep. It's down to 984 millibars and continues to drop. It may bottom out at around 979. Now, here we are with Friday morning, and as you can see here, I'm going to change the view of this to the southeast U.S. As you can see here, we do have training segments ongoing in northwest Kentucky, portions of Indiana and Illinois, and that is something we have to watch for flash flooding. There will still be a tornado threat at this time, just to the northeast quadrant of the low, so we'll have to watch. A renewed tornado threat does pick up for portions of Kentucky and Ohio tomorrow, so we need to watch that, because the SPC is saying, and I'll show you here. Let's go to the day 2 outlook. SPC does have a slight risk just southeast of the low. I think it's possible we could see that get upgraded to an enhanced risk, because there is enough evidence. This low is going to be strong. There will still be shear. There's enough evidence that supports the potential for an upgrade to an enhanced risk. And you can see the Cincinnati area tomorrow afternoon. You really want to pay attention, because there could be a potential tornado threat with this, as the low will essentially be right on top of you. And moving back to the continental U.S. view, as you can see here, just southeast of Chicago, at least according to the HRRR model, is where the heaviest snow falls. Some models are slightly more northwest. That's something we will have to watch. This then becomes a winter storm for the northeast, and watch what happens along the I-80 corridor in Pennsylvania. You get an extended period of sleet, which would be pretty significant. And New England, this is mainly a snow event for you north of the Boston metro area. At some point, you will switch to sleet in Boston. But northern New England, this is a 4 to 8, maybe isolated 10-inch amount snowfall for you. So this is fairly impressive. Quickly taking a look at the FV3 model, it's very similar to the HRRR model. The initial cells are what we have to watch for the potential for strong tornadoes. Then it switches over to the squall line, and it would shift to more of a high wind event. And you have your training over Arkansas. Remember, any discrete cell could potentially produce a tornado. And this squall line will shift east into the Gulf Coast states tomorrow. And Kentucky, you're going to be dealing with some very heavy rainfall. In fact, let's take a look at rainfall amounts from the FV3 model. And you can see here, anywhere where you have these like maroon colors, that's isolated 6-inch amounts. I mean, it is possible. The PWAT values, which measure the moisture in the atmosphere, are going to be very high and support extremely high rainfall rates with these cells. If we continue this on here, it's generally a 3 to 5 inch rainfall with locally 5+ inches. I think on the average it's going to be generally, most will probably see between like 3 or 4 inches, but those training segments are what we really have to watch for that. And again, I do think there's also going to be an additional tornado threat tomorrow in the Ohio Valley, which might currently be underplayed by the Storm Prediction Center. We'll see if they upgrade that a little bit, because anytime you get just northeast of an area of low pressure this strong, and you're just south of the warm front, you do run the risk of high rotation and shear. Alrighty, thanks for watching this severe weather update. If need be, we will do another one maybe this evening to give an update on the situation. And if not, we will definitely have at some point tomorrow an update, plus a climate report on the reports from today's severe weather. Follow my Twitter account at COVID Data Report, and I will be reporting on this throughout the day today as it unfolds. Thanks for watching, and if you find the content on my channel to be informative to you, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Stay safe, everyone.